really achieved something in their lives. अच्छा एक बात बताओ, घर वालों की या किस को आ रही है? Honest, बाकी बोल चुके हैं घर वाले. Day scholars, oh, day scholars कितने? Opinion, quite a no opinion, no opinion on this. बाकी जो जिनको घर वालों की याद नहीं आ रही, can we have a session later? घर की याद तो नहीं आ रही, animal life नहीं आ रही. So goals. What? So goals. What our aim is that to make you all expand your horizons, to make you all believe that yes, you can fulfill your dreams, and to fulfill those dreams, you can reach your fullest potential as well. Be the best versions of yourself. Today marks a special day in the Trosh calendar as we welcome you all in this prestigious institution. We also believe that we are taking a firm step in creating a nurturing environment for you. So, how many of you, first of all, know today is what? Rather than this event, what is today? That's very vague. Anyone? What's today? Yes, yes, yes. Someone. Yes. Okay. Anything else? Yeah. Anyone from this side? What is today? Rather than this event, Monday, Somvar, what is today? Somvar. Somvar. ये कहाँ से आया सर? Someone from the audience just told today is Somvar. Wow. But rather than all this, what is today? Audience. What? Youth Day. Youth Day. क्या? I miss it. I guess. क्या बोला? Okay. सबके फोन निकल गए. But किसी ने सही आंसर नहीं दिया. Anyone? Sir, can I? No, sir. Okay, sir. Let the audience guess. Okay, sir. Fine. एक नहीं मिलेगा. Okay, sir. नहीं एक second, sir. एक बात बताओ. क्या? एक बात बताओ. आने से पहले everyone went through the बहुत important document. Can anyone remember? जो notary stamp लगी थी जिस पे. कौन से? Anti-racking. So आज हम थोड़ा सा एंटी रैगिंग के ऊपर जाएंगे. Today is 12th of August. 12th of August is what? Anti-ragging day. First of all, a big round of applause for that. For the spirit of anti-ragging. Acha. Tell me one thing. How have you been interacting with your fellow first years? Good. अच्छा लग रहा है सबको मिलके, राइट? सभी से बात करके बहुत family like family at some point, so there's no one to console you but your friends, hostel maybe, or maybe the ones you're wandering around the campus with. So basically हम चाहते हैं कि एक सिक्योर एनवायरनमेंट सभी के लिए तैयार, राइट? सिक्योर एनवायरनमेंट कैसे बनेगी? जब there won't be any danger of riot. Anti-ragging Mahotsav basically promotes anti-ragging throughout the campus, throughout your hostel life, throughout your college life, right? So basically, as we begin with it, anti-ragging, we need to stand united against it. क्यों? But just said, why do we need to stand united against anti-ragging? So, because if we don't stand against the evil, then I guess we all are the evil. If we see somewhere that a ragging is taking place, we are just being the silent spectator for it. Aren't we involved in it? Maybe not the victim, maybe not the culprit, but we, somewhere or the other, we are also responsible for that. Raising our voice means a lot. So, today marks what? Audience? Anti-Ragging Day. So, August 12th is a National Anti-Ragging Day, which again stretches from 12th to 18th of August. That is an entire week. We also have workshops, competitions, campaigns, and festivals aligned for this specific week. Coming to that, it is a initiative by the government that all the higher education institutes are working towards this. All higher education institutes are taking part of this, and currently, from 12th to 18th, as I told you earlier, we have a lot of competitions, we have a lot of workshops and different things planned for you. One of such things that Roche conducts is Winsanity. So Winsanity is what? Winsanity, to tell you all, is basically an event conducted by Frosh, wherein you all would be creating such sort of posters. Now, setup of anti-ragging mechanisms in TIET. So first we have the anti-ragging cell, then the anti-ragging policy of thought that you are quite now. After that, we have the anti-ragging committee, the anti-ragging squad, the anti-ragging duties, and finally, the national ragging prevention program by the government. All right, so you all can see a hashtag written over there. Yari You Against Dragon. So basically, this is an initiative taken by the government, which is this hashtag has been created for the anti-ragging day slash week celebrations. So all of you, those who are interested, may refer to this website and register for the events. All right. There are three contests. The first one is the Instagram threads and digital poster making. The next one is the Instagram reel making. And the third one is YouTube video. I am supposing that all of you are very much into Instagram and YouTube content. So everyone is quite demographics and how it works. So basically, what you have to do is you have to create content that goes with the theme that we have here, and you have to use the hashtag that is right. Okay. So you all must have seen several photo booths placed in some pockets of our institute. Who all have seen? Come on. Who all have seen? All right. So to let you know, there are many photo booths which have been placed for you all so that you can click a picture. And don't forget to mention Frosh TIET. Come on. Okay. So industry experts industry की knowledge लेना कैसा रहेगा? Anyone? Anyone? कैसा रहेगा? जोश फर्स्ट ईयर कम ऑन फर्स्ट ईयर है फर्स्ट ईयर का जोश है हॉस्टल में छूट गया जोश a huge round of applause and पहले तो जोश कहाँ है so to adding on what sir just mentioned अगर सर वही एल्यूमिनाई हमारे थापर फैमिली से हो तो आई गेस और बढ़िया नहीं रहेगा ऑडियंस को एक बात बता दूं कि जैसे आप और हम इन्हीं कॉरिडोर्स इन्हीं क्लासरूम्स और इन्हीं हॉस्टल रूम्स में रहते हैं हमारे एलुमनाई भी इन्हीं कॉलेज के कॉरिडोर्स और क्लासेस में रह चुके हैं यहीं से अपनी सक्सेस स्टोरीज बनाने में भी वो कामयाब हो गए Our alumni, ladies and gentlemen, do not require any piece of introduction. Why? Because their success speaks itself. We at Frost and TIE believe that someone's exposure is equal to someone's experience. किसी का experience किसी के लिए exposure बन सकता है. So हमारे एलुमनाई का experience आप सभी का exposure बन जाए, यही spirit हम क्या. So sir, are you ready? I am. Yes. Audience, are you guys ready? So we would invite the SAIC, the Student Alumni Interaction Cell of Thapar, to take forward with the proceedings of the event. They are currently involved in bridging the gap between the students and alumni. From the SAIC team, we have Ms. Kushbu.
Success is not the result of spontaneous combustion. You need to light up that fire inside. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Alumni Panel, an event dedicated to enriching the wisdom and inspiration between those who have charted the course and those who are just beginning the journey. We at SAIC aim to bridge the gap between students and alumni. We are currently involved in a multitude of ventures in strengthening student alumni relationships and trying to provide you all with a glimpse of what may lie ahead of you in your professional lives. Just like fire is kindled from a spark, today is about igniting potential within you by learning from those who have already achieved milestones in their lives. We have our distinguished alumni with us here today who have graciously returned to provide us with their invaluable experiences, insights, and advice. Their stories of triumph, growth, and challenges provide us with a treasure trove of knowledge which will help us in our future lives. As you interact with these remarkable individuals, I would like to emphasize on the importance of asking questions, seeking guidance, and building connections that will help shape your future. And remember, today is not about reflecting on past achievements, but rather lighting the way forward for you. On that note, please give a round of applause as I call back the Frosh team back on stage to introduce you to our dear.
So, as we begin with the interaction session with the alumni panel, we have a host of the event. We have with us Ms. Prisha Agarwal from the SAIC team. Next, we have Dr. Prateek Sikka. We have among us Ms. Jyotika Garg, Senior Software Engineer at Microsoft. Next, we have Tarun Jain, Chemical Engineer associated with for all the entrepreneur mindsets out there. We have Mr. Bhaskar Gupta, the founder, the visionary founder of Monoma. Next, we'd like to welcome Mr. Vishal Ahuja, a leading medtech expert, global director in VNG Medical. Risha is yours.
First of all, hello everyone. I'd like to welcome back all the illuminates to the supper. And shortly, soon after, some questions will be passing the mic in the audience. Stay tuned for that. So, first of all, I'd like you all to give a brief introduction about yourself and let us know how do you feel after coming back to talk.
They say it's a custom to start with the senior most. Looks like.
Anyway, it's my name is Prateek Sikka. I did graduate from Thapar. This very fond memories of this institute. I graduated in 2006 into electronics and communication. Then I started my career with a company called ST Microelectronics. Then I worked for different other companies like NXP, MathWorks, Cadence Design System, and I again rejoined ST Microelectronics 2 years back in Noida, based in Noida. And in terms of qualifications, after my BTech from Thapar, I did my master's from IIT Delhi, and I did my PhD also from BITS Pilani. I have been throughout into the electronics industry, mostly research and development in the last 18 years or so. And when it comes to Thapar, this always gives me goosebumps. I was born in the city in Patiala. I stayed here for good 4 years of my life, and it's always a pleasure to be here. So,
Okay, second senior most, and exactly a decade, I would say. I'm 2014 pass out, entering again the college after a decade brings back a lot of memories, I would say. Today, when I was entering the Thapar College gate, I was like, oh my god, it's been 10 years? I'm so old? Like, okay, it is. So, yeah. So, I'm Jyotika Garg. I'm working right now as SSC in Microsoft. I started my career from here only, from Thapar, by college placement in one of the hedge fund company, Indus Valley Partners, then moving again to one of the startups, early startups, I would say, having engineers of only 20 people in total, doing end-to-end travel triangle. Worked there, met so good veterans of technology, working before in Yahoo, Adobe, and then started again my career from Adobe and worked there for 5 years. It was a drastic change working from a startup again to a bigger company, bigger organization. But it obviously broadened my horizons and I learned a lot, I would say, in that transition. And now, 2 years back, I joined again to Microsoft. And yes, here I am today.
so hi everyone, third senior most, I would say. Uh, really, I'm Tarun Jain. So really glad to be here. Thank you so much for having us here, and really lovely to see beautiful faces around. I still remember my first year. I entered the college a decade back, let's say. So 2014 was my first year, and I still remember I was on the other side when I joined the college in this first week. So it's really great to be on the other end this way. So I did my BTech in chemical engineering. So I am one of the engineers who stick with core chemical engineering and still pursuing that. So I was campus placed in Jubilant Life Sciences in Noida. So I worked there for 3 years. Then I switched back to a process design role in SRF. Worked there for 2 years. Then I switched to Kellogg Brown and Root. It's a American-based MNC. Then now again I switch a lot. So currently I'm working as a joint manager in RT Industries Limited, taking care of the technology group. So thank you for having us here. Hey folks, my name is Bhaskar, and I joined college 8 years back, 2016. And 8 years back, I was sitting there on one of the blank chairs, not very advanced, never looked at. And then I joined Amazon. I was lucky to get a chance to sit for Amazon in the month of October. Normally placements end by then. So yes, I joined as an intern, SD1, SD2. 8 months back, I left Amazon to open my own thing. We'll probably talk about that as well. Panel. Yeah. Happy to be here. I try to be here almost every 6 months, 8 months a year or so. You know, Garden Resort, Mackie, Omelette Garden Business, something. Yeah.
So hi, I'm very recently graduated. I graduated back in 2022. Uh, that time I decided not to take up placements and do something of my own. So we went to do medical manufacturing. Um, I was in electronics instrumentation control, so I took up that branch very seriously, and I wanted to do something that was related to the core subjects. And it's really good to be back here. It's really good to be I haven't been able to come back to the campuses to read and see all the growth development and all of that. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
We are doing in this order that Prateek sir is going introduces him first. Then let's ask him the questions first. So, sir, first of all, I'd like to ask you, what exactly is semiconductor industry and what falls under this term?
So semiconductor, you might have heard about even the Indian government now talking a lot about semiconductors and investment into India. So there are two aspects to the semiconductor industry. Those of you who are new into this field, one is the manufacturing part, which happens so far. Only the discrete devices are manufactured in India. So there are few companies that I'm aware of. There is one in Delhi, Continental Device India Limited. There is a manufacturing plant called Semiconductor Complex Limited in Mohali. Anyone heard about that? Yeah, okay. So they have a manufacturing plant, but they do discrete device manufacturing like transistors, diodes. But when you talk about the complex microprocessors or microcontrollers, so far India is kind of not having that ecosystem to give birth to this kind of a manufacturing facility. But now with so much of international dynamics changing and our government putting in a lot of money into semiconductor manufacturing, these things are now coming up. You might have heard about a new manufacturing plant coming up in Gujarat, uh, which is promising to be more of a manufacturing hub. But while on the other side of things, even though we don't have manufacturing facilities in India, we do have a lot of design houses. ST being one of them. We are there in India for the last 35 years, one of the oldest semicon companies in India. There is Texas Instruments, which was before us. So ST came to India in 1987. So before that, I think we have TI, Texas Instruments in Bangalore. Now there are a lot of startups, a lot of American, lot of European, lot of Taiwan companies like TSMC, Intel from US, for example. NXP is a European name. Infineon is a big European name. Nvidia is into graphics, for example, chip development. Microsoft, Amazon, they're also kept coming up into semiconductor side, developing their own chipsets to try to reduce the cost that they pay to the other vendors from where they source their microcontrollers. So this is the kind of ecosystem that we have. And now the interesting part is, which we wanted to talk about, is that many of the other uh, companies which were not traditionally semicon companies are also coming into semicon. Okay, so for example, car companies, robotics companies. I talked about Amazon. I talked about Microsoft. They are not giants in semicon space, but they are now venturing into this area to kind of secure their semiconductor supply chain. We all know about what happened during COVID. A lot of supply chain issues happened in automotive. So we are seeing the trend that a lot of automotive companies are coming up into semicon space. For example, Volkswagen, companies like Bosch, for example. So they are venturing into semicon space. So it's that is on the design side, I would say. But manufacturing part I already talked about in the first part of the piece.
What will you suggest for someone who wants to enter the semiconductor branch?
Uh, I would say that don't be restricted to your. So see, I want to share a small story, if you allow me some time. When I joined college, and I still remember my day one, my parents came here to drop me to the college, and we went on to meet Dr. H.B. Sharda was the dean of student affairs that time. Uh, and we actually went to meet him in his office, and I was very passionate about electronics as a branch. But I come from a family where both my parents are doctors, so everyone in my family, most of my family members are doctors. And my father had a concern that which branch is good. That was a typical question he asked because he knew nothing about engineering. He said, which branch is good? And I still remember the response from Dr. Sharda. He said, जिसमें job लग जाए वो अच्छा है. But from the bottom of my heart, I was very passionate about electronics. And I still remember he said that जिसमें job लग जाए वो अच्छा है. But in my personal opinion, we should be carrying our passion along. People say that manufacturing is not a scope in India. I mean, we don't have a lot of manufacturing hubs in India. So those of you who are, for example, from physics background, okay, There may be from chemical background who want to study about substrates, how manufacturing is done. So don't be restricted to yourself to the kind of ecosystem you are present in. Okay, I agree there are constraints to not relocate to other countries or where there are better opportunities. But my personal feeling is don't try to mold yourself according to the ecosystem that is available. So follow your passion, whatever excites you into semicon, be it design, be it front end design, be it verification, be it physical design, be it manufacturing. So there are a lot of specialized courses available, or even as a part of your BTech, you can build up the concepts because BTech is such a wide course where all the subjects are taught. Bit of everything. You have everything on the menu, and choose your bite. And whichever excites you, whichever course excites you, gives you that kick. कि हाँ, ये course मुझे interesting लग रहा है. Build your vertical into that, and then go from there. Of course, when it comes to semiconductors, the core courses are electronics, digital, analog, physical design, verification. Like I said, people from physics background who want to do more research and development into semiconductor manufacturing space or material space, for example. So these are definitely, I would say, good options to get into semiconductor industry.
Kritika ma'am. Ma'am, since the tech industry is known for its fast pace, how did you manage to keep up with it?
Okay, so as I stated my journey, you would came to know that I did four switches till now, and every switch came with a different technology. I started my career with C Sharp, SQL Server as backend. Then when I moved to the startup, it was working on Ruby on Rails scripting language and MySQL as a background. Then when I moved to Adobe, they were working on video technology. They were creating a player for Hotstar, Disney Hotstar, and Disney Plus. So it was a video technology working on frameworks, and I was creating an iOS app on there. Then again, under the Adobe, I got to work on Kubernetes as a cloud platform, and then to the Microsoft again coming back to C Sharp and SQL Server as a background. But this time on the other side, we are creating SQL Server and developing that technology. So the whole my journey would say that we need to keep ourselves up and need to learn, adapt to whatever is coming to you. You cannot say that okay, I learned one language, I learned one technology, I could stick to it and could go forward. Sometimes it happens also. You get that career. But I would say nowadays, as you stated, the tech industry is evolving. Every day new thing is coming up, AI is coming up, co-pilot is coming up. So you need to evolve and adapt at the same time in the same fast-paced manner. And for that, you need to have very strong fundamentals. You are in college. You really don't need to think about the technology that you want to learn. Don't go behind the fancy languages to learn or something. Do learn your fundamental algorithms, data structure, I would say, which is core to the computer science. If you're clear about that, you could pop up with anything. So, yeah, that's all.
I'd like to ask, like the perfect previous, how did you secure such a position?
By clearing the interviews, I guess. Uh, but yeah, good question. So it's always about once you land into a company, then you realize कि यार स्ट्रगल तो शुरू हुआ है अभी. वी थॉट कि कॉलेज में स्टार्ट हुआ, लाइफ चेंज होगी, कंपनीज में जाके तो और पता लगता है कि यार ये तो अलग शुरू हो गया है अभी. So you need to figure out a lot when you enter into a company. It's about job role, job profile, your location, your interest. Your interest is in calculation, but you are doing a monotonous job every day. Depression, right? So it's very important. So I started my journey. I was went into a core production plant. Like she said, she started with technology, right? It was different technologies were there. So I also started with the production of a chemical known as ethanol. So you guys are aware of ethanol, right? Yes. That's basic alcohol. But yeah, but we used to work in a plant where they used to produce bulk alcohol. It was the largest distillery in the entire Asia. So I was into a very remote location. But I figured out somehow that this is not something I want to do. I'm a BTech graduate from copper industry. I don't want to be part of a monotonous job. So I was like, dude, let's get into a design calculation part or something. So it was very important for you to excel in your own field to check which companies offer you which kind of profile. So what is your interest? So that's what I kept on doing, talking to people, connecting with the seniors, making a good network on LinkedIn. So trying to know what's happening where. So ऐसे करते करते चार companies switch हो गई हैं अभी. But I'm enjoying every role. So I was in core production role, then I went to process design engineering role in SRF, then I went to licensor role in KBR where I was working on foreign projects mostly based in London. And currently I'm working in specialty chemical sector, which is the booming sector in India where our organization has already proposed 6,000 crore investment in Gujarat itself. So I would say it's only about your personal choice what you like. So whatever you like, you try to find out and you keep excelling into that. So that's how I managed to work in different MNCs.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Like you are an entrepreneur, someone who is in engineering field right now and wants to become an entrepreneur. What would be your advice?
See, entrepreneur, it's a mindset. It's not a job. It's not a thing you do. It's a mindset. हम कुछ भी शुरू करते हैं अगर हम उसे खत्म नहीं कर रहे थे नॉट स्टेइंग ट्रू टू आवर वर्ड बोलते हैं ना जुबान की कीमत होती है खुद तो उसकी समझो कीमत हम बोलते हैं हम कुछ करेंगे ये शुरू करते हैं छोड़ेंगे सो देन दिस इज हाउ वी डू राइट दैट्स हाउ यू start by yourself start with yourself right? That's what I did in college up until second third year I was like कुछ हो भी नहीं रहा है कर तो सब कुछ रहे बनता ही नहीं नंबर ही नहीं आते फीस ही नहीं आती समझ भी नहीं आता है बट बैक ऑफ द हेड पता होता है कुछ तो गड़बड़ कर रहे हैं शायद वो लास्ट लाइट छोड़ दी शायद वो ट्यूब में चले गए ऐसे दे आते हैं टू थिंग्स राइट प्लस वन प्लस टू से आए होंगे तो पता होगा चैप्टर कौन छोड़ा होगा जेई का वही क्वेश्चन आया होगा जेई तभी खबर में जेई मेन का एग्जाम था और पूरा स्ट्रिक्ट बिल्कुल होता है जनवरी से मैंने भागा खाना छोड़ दिया ठीक है बीमार नहीं होना इसमें ऐसी एग्जाम के सुबह रात को पता नहीं बुखार सा होना शुरू हो गया मुझे एंड आई स्टार्टेड रिट्रोस्पेक्टिंग क्यों हो रहा है बुखार क्या है क्योंकि समोसे तो घर पे बने थे चटनी बाहर से आएगी शायद तभी हो गया ठीक है अभी तक गलत जाने एग्जाम देने गया एग्जाम में बैठा 2 घंटे बाद थोड़ा वो कंपन शुरू हो गई बुखार था उसने बोला जो एग्जाम ले रहा था कि तब जाओ बाहर कैन नॉट सिट हियर इफेक्ट ऑफ द पीपल आल्सो बाहर आ गया मैं इतना खुश था कि मेरे पास एक बहाना है बोलने का कि क्यों नंबर कमाने वाले हैं 2 घंटे तो बैठ पाया नहीं and that was like I used to be back in 2014 probably 16 whatever it was and then same I did in college and then it struck me once it बंदे ने बोला so I did one plus right 2018 it was my third year of the start मेरे पेरेंट्स ने बोला let's go meet someone उस बंदे की ना सीटी फर्स्ट सेम में कम आई थी थर्ड पर से ही है उसके बाद ही डिड समथिंग तो बढ़िया हो गई सुनना पड़ेगा कैसे फिर आए अहमदाबाद पहुंचे मतलब सुनना ही पड़ेगा हम गए मेरी सीरी थी 8.2 मैंने कहा लेट्स से 8.6 है कम लगेगा तो बोलेगा एंड देन मैंने 8.65 बोल दिया उसको लगेगा तो राउंड अप करके बोल रहा है 8.65 साउंड्स लाइक इट्स दैट हम गए वहां बैठे पापा ने पूछा उससे मेरे पापा भी थापर ग्रेजुएट है 93 तो हम दोनों का माइंडसेट सेम ही नहीं एंड देन वो सिटिंग देयर पापा ने पूछा आपकी सीजी फर्स्ट सेम में कितनी थी कहता कम थी बात तो सही कितनी 9.6 उसके बाद सब में 10 मैं पापा को देख रहा हूँ मुझे देख रहे हैं मैं कहाँ ले आया then for 30 minutes he grilled me और मेरे पापा को देख रहा हूँ मैं स्तन पे जाऊँ मैं चलूँगा यहाँ से but one thing he said that stuck with me he said trust the process सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत अब फिर मैंने उसका ब्रेक डाउन किया क्यों हम छोड़ देते हैं क्योंकि हमें लगता है छोड़ो क्या बात है ना नंबर कम आगे ड्रॉप कर लेते हैं क्यों करना है ड्रॉप छोड़ो फापर अगर मन में है ड्रॉप करने का तो करो अगर मन में है फापर जाना तो फापर जाके पढ़ो start trusting the process that you're in and that's what being entrepreneur is also आज मैं जो चीज कर रहा हूँ आज कैंडी लेके स्कैन करना आज मैं जो चीज कर रहा हूँ ये कभी नहीं बना हुआ है सब कुछ मुझे नहीं पता क्या बनेगा 6 महीने में बनेगा साल में बनेगा 5 साल बनेगा और आई एम ट्रस्टिंग द प्रोसेस दैट आई एम आई क्वेश्चन माई सेल्फ एवरी डे बट आई स्टिल से ट्रस्ट द प्रोसेस देखिए क्या right? That's how you should take your life as well. You can always it's a mindset. Start trusting the process that you're in. Take things to completion. If you are saying repeat करने के बाद काम ही नहीं किया, you have already leveled up. If you are able to think now कि वो काम नहीं किया, ना करने वाला, that's what it should be. So start trusting yourself first, right? और मजे करो, मौज करो. Start building yourself as a human now because you're in college today, right? And थापर की best चीज बताता हूँ मैं जो आज कोई नहीं बताया. That is that you become an entrepreneur the day you enter Thapar. You do so many events. This frosh people that you are seeing, the SAIC people, or you are seeing, all of these are entrepreneurs. वो अपना कॉलेज की पढ़ाई छोड़ के they are doing these things because they enjoy these things and they believe in themselves कि हम ये भी कर सकते हैं and they are doing it, they are pulling this off for you, right? So start enjoying this, start cherishing this, experience every single thing which you can. पर बहुत मजा है. हम अभी बैठे थे गेस्ट हाउस में, we were discussing about our lives. I'm going to graduate 14, 16, 18, 6. All of these are people are there, right? सबकी सेम स्टोरी. सबने बहुत मजे किए कॉलेज में. याद करके अभी भी वो एक आंसू आ जाता है कि अरे हाँ सही टाइम, because we've lived our lives. बहुत मजा है. So take it that way. Becoming an entrepreneur, it's a mindset. Build that mindset, gather experiences, gather stories. Right?
So, sir, since you're in business side right now and you did an engineering course, everyone who is from business family would like to know that how did you transit from the engineering course to a business side?
Okay. So, after very rightly said, all of us, we were entrepreneurs here. We sort of struggle on a daily basis. नई टाइम पे पहुंचो, ठीक है, वहाँ पे जो है नई गली कैसा होगा, there are rules always, right? Uh, when I was here, he was one of my guiding mentors as well. So we used to spend a lot of time together, and I used to learn a lot of things from him. I used to learn a lot of things from other seniors, this and that. So, what engineering, when I see engineering, I always used to think and I always used to listen from other people that यार इसका कोई application नहीं है, इसका तो जो है इसका कोई scope नहीं है, like ये पढ़ा रहे हैं पुराना course है, course curriculum अच्छा नहीं है. So that got to me somewhere or the other because I chose my line because I was very much focused towards my line. I wanted to do instrumentation. I wanted to get into biomedical. That was one clarity that really helped me. So as you say, one day or the other, आपकी niche आपके सामने आ जाती है और interest they come in front of you. So that day when you realize कि हाँ ये चीज this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. It's right in front of me. You need to take that leap of faith and you need to trust in yourself, like after the rightly said. And Pratik sir was also, he was telling about the lack of manufacturing opportunities in India. So from all of this, from all of the grind, from all of the education, there came a time when I started going out into the field. So मेरा एक key essential fundamental build हो चुका था, that was showing up. You need to show up. You need to go get the groundwork done. वो key fundamental that has always helped me to understand the root cause of situations and that has always helped me to understand myself better as well. So when I place trust in myself, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, I know as an entrepreneur, what I need to do and what I need to become. And when I went out in the field, so Desi College Chaturma, the first thing I did was I knew that I was going to get into biomedical instrumentation and I was already studying and pursuing, and I was already looking towards it. To be very true, I have a family background of medical devices trading in general. So we decided to set up a manufacturing plant, looking at the opportunities. कि यहाँ पे manufacturing नहीं है, cost can be, they can go down. There's a huge demand in the market. और इतना ही नहीं खाली हम ऐसा कि इंडियन मार्केट को cater करेंगे, we can cater to the international market, and market is very very big. So जैसा we restrict ourselves. We restrict ourselves in potential, we restrict ourselves in opportunities. We think, yeah, ये दो opportunities हैं, इसके आगे कुछ नहीं है. But when you go out there in the world and when you do the groundwork, you realize that there are a bunch of opportunities and the market is huge. Like even if you start catering to 1% of the market, you'll be very widely known. So 8% भी market का, it's a huge, huge, huge number. तो वो जो मेंटल रिस्ट्रिक्शन है, वो जो मेंटल कैपिंग है कि जो हमारा पोटेंशियल है वो यहाँ तक है, इट्स द सेम थिंग विद बिजनेस एज वेल. So when you cap your mental potential towards this, you also cap your business also towards this particular level. But you have to go get the groundwork done. So when I went to the ground, I went to a lot of. See, basically, we are into manufacturing of medical devices for newborn babies. So that was a niche that I took because I was guided into it, and I was also in touch with a lot of new technologies that are coming into the market. जब मैंने देखा जाके एनएसयूज के अंदर जाके, so there are the conditions are very bad, but everything is it's changing, and that's what inspires me in general. As हम लोग जो है gradually we are looking into new opportunities, and the market जो है market trends change हो रहे हैं, market size is changing, and people are becoming more and more ethically aware that what needs to be done, what is a set quality standard, etc., etc. So I went into the NICUs. I was there myself. I was testing the machines out after they were approved from the regulatories. I was interacting with the doctors personally. And I've stayed in the worst accommodations. I've stayed in the best accommodations. All in all, जो मेरे को समझ में आया, I need to keep doing it over and over and over again, so that you have the most clear picture. And that is what the 4 years are about. It's about doing things over and over and over again until you understand what are the dynamics that are associated with stuff correctly. And that really motivated me to take up that really got me into that transition from student life to business, because good diligence to have that starts from here. As you introspect, as you rightly said, as you introspect, you get to know कि मैं क्या गलत कर रहा हूँ, और उसी चीज को तुम्हें क्लोज लूप के अंदर फीडबैक की तरह use that mechanism and improve yourselves on a daily basis.
Thank you, sir. Recently mentioned about the college life. I'd like to know what were your favorite memories of college? Anyone can start.
My favorite memory of college was
Probably hostel life.
hostel life was good actually.
Any memory like you have making hostel life that was unforgettable? Like any.
हमारे हॉस्टल में ना एक लड़का था जो सबके रूम में आके मतलब बैठ जाता था. So that guy, he wore a mask, और वो पूरे हॉस्टल के अंदर परेड कर रहा था रात को. That I think was one of the best memories की, because we scared off a lot of people that night. बाकी बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें I think I should not.
Okay, so I was Devki, so no hostel, but I did stay in hostel few of the times. Uh, but my favorite memory I would say is, so you all know that when one semester ends, other starts, there's a time in between all, right? And you used to go your hometown or so on. But me and my group of 7 friends, we were so loved with college that we still laugh today that even in those days when the college is actually off, no one is coming, no teacher is coming, no staff is coming, we were in college. Till 7 o'clock in the morning, till 7 o'clock in the evening, we were in the college sitting there, no fan is working, it's June month, but we used to come every day, we used to laugh and spend time here, and we don't realize even today that what were we doing? We were doing we were doing masti, we were going to eat kulcha outside, we were going to okay, just walk in the environment park or so on. So that is the memory that stays with us till today. We are in touch and we remember those days that how mad we were that we were coming even on the holidays in the college, and at home we were used to tell that no, college is not off. There is some extra classes going on or something. We have to go because we love to be part of this group for college, you would say, yeah.
Okay. So actually, I think there is no enough time in this world to explain about the memories we have. बहुत सारी, बहुत अजीब अजीब भी. So you can't. वही था वही. तो but एक इंसिडेंट आई वांट टू शेयर फर्स्ट ईयर का है, बट एक ही चीज चाहिए, बात यही दब जाएगी तो सही है. ये बात ही अलग है. तो लाइक फर्स्ट ईयर में वी यूज्ड टू स्टे इन एच हॉस्टल, 4 लड़के के रूम में, ऐसा सिनेरियो था. और बहुत क्लोज ग्रुप था जो हमारे क्लस्टर में ही रहता था आसपास, 4-5 लड़कों का. तो ऑब्वियसली बात है, हम एच हॉस्टल में रहते थे. खाना यार ऑब्वियसली बात है, कॉलेज में आया खाना तो पसंद नहीं आ रहा ना एकदम से. तो लोगों को बहुत चिल रहती थी यार, खाना अच्छा खाना. तो व्हाट इज द बेस्ट प्लेस टू ईट गुड फ्री फूड? कैन एनीबडी गेस? परफेक्ट, तुम लोग भी वही हो भाई. तो अब खाना है, कैसे खाना है ये भी नहीं पता. सो वन गाय केम अप विद अ प्लान. तो यहाँ था पर अपने पटियाला में 2-3 ना पैलेस हैं, ठीक है. चैन पैलेस, ये पैलेस, वो पैलेस. तो भाई अब इतने इनोवेटिव है हम लोग, थापर के इंजीनियर्स हैं, आए हैं कुछ तो करके ही जाएंगे, हार मान लेंगे नहीं ना. तो बंदे ने क्या किया, कॉल लगाया, हाँ जी चाइल्ड पैलेस बात कर रहे हैं, हाँ जी हाँ जी बिल्कुल कर रहे हैं। तो जी वो देखने आना था, संडे को आना था, पैलेस बुकिंग करानी है। वो जी नहीं जी संडे तो नहीं, अपना बुक है, कल आओ तुसी। ठीक है जी, कल तो नहीं आ सकते, चलो देखते हैं। पता लग गया भाई को संडे को शादी है ना, तो संडे को प्लान करेंगे भाई। कुछ नहीं रह रहा हूँ, स्टोरी बता रहा हूँ। ठीक है, तो भाई चलो बंदे को पता लगा, देखो भाई तो ऐसे ही यार उन्होंने कहा कि टीचर कॉल आते हैं महीने में, देखना कोई नहीं आता। तो eventually this carried on and they somehow figured, उनको वो समझ में आ गया एल्गोरिथम कि यार ये चल रहा है कुछ ऐसा, खापर के बंदे आते हैं खाना वाना खा के आते हैं, और तो दे ऑल्सो फिगर्ड आउट कि कोई बात नहीं, आने दो अगली बार। तो पैलेस वालों ने ना पुलिस बिठा दी एक बार, और अपने बंदे वहां तैयार श्यार होके गए, अलग ही नजर आ रहे हैं, चश्मे वाले, पढ़ने लिखने वाले, एकदम इंजीनियर्स आ रहे हैं खापर के, शादी में लोकल, क्या बात है, देख रहे हैं क्या रिश्तेदारी है। तो बस उनकी एक रात खाने कचहरी में निकली है, तो उसके बाद nobody went to Chell Palace entire 4 years. So that was a very funny story I wanted to share. but तुम मत जाना यार।
Uh, while it comes to stories, there are a couple of them. One was a very fond memory in Hostel C. We were in Hostel C first year, and तब यहाँ पे ना NRI sponsored quota. I don't know. We had it's still there. So we had a dear friend who came from Kuwait, and वो बहुत भोला भाला था, उससे लोग मजाक करते थे। And one fun prank we did with him was एक surgical glove जो होता है, you know surgical glove. We put a cotton into it, stuff the cotton into it, and put a long stick into it. And रात को, and that time they were not allowed to use the कोई electrical appliances were not allowed to use. Still not allowed. So he had a table fan. I still remember he had a जो वो घूमने वाला फैन होता है. So he had put it in the room and he हमने उसको बोला बंद कर दे, because हम चाहते थे प्रैंक वो सक्सेसफुल हो. फैन बंद किया क्योंकि आवाज नहीं आती फैन जब चल रहा होता है. तो देयर वाज अनदर फ्रेंड ऑफ माइन, वो बाहर से आके उसकी रात के 1:30-2 बजे का टाइम, started knocking on the window with that white hand showing off from outside. And he was like, कि क्या तुम क्या कर रहे हो, ये कुछ हो गया है यहाँ पे, I want to go out. And then we told, मतलब it actually turned out to be a quite serious affair. उसने फिर बाद में complaint करने लगा. Then we told him because he was literally, we were very early in the thing. So the other funny incident happened in final year. That was a placement party, I remember. So placement party mein trend was कि we used to invite our friends when we got placed. So I remember the time I got placed into Infosys as a campus placement. And Infosys recruited a lot of people. I mean, 70, 80 people were recruited. And just previous day, we had a TCS drive. And TCS also recruited quite a few people. So almost we had a batch size of 90 and 60, 70 people were placed. So then we thought कि अलग-अलग party क्या करनी है? Let's do a common batch party. Let's invite everyone. And that was the first of its kind party we had in Narayan Continental. A party है तो you can imagine what can happen in a party. So उस समय girls hostel के they had timings till 7 o'clock I think. After 7, girls were not allowed, and we had booked up some autos to get the girls from the hostel. उनके permission लेके warden वगैरह से बात करके. By 9, all the girls were back into the hostel. Then the real party started. And I still remember we had to literally carry some of our friends in rickshaws into hostel B. Hostel A, sorry, that time it was hostel A. I was staying in A block. And our warden, he was a mechanical engineering professor. And I don't want to name him, he's still in the institute. And he was standing at the gate and saying कि आप किस हालत में आ रहे हो वापस, ये कोई तरीका है पार्टी करने का. And I still remember people were ऐसे जैसे वार्डन बैठा हो, सर आप सवेरे कॉल करेंगे. So that was really one such experience I can never forget, because I mean I enjoyed it honestly. For me, so I was part of almost every event. बस तब नहीं करता जब क्लैश हुआ करता every event every society बोलता है ना जाके बस sign up करिए. I used to be like that kind of a person. So I have memories of one of the best events that we used to do was Kaleidoscope. Right. That used to be one of the best times. And then it was about an after party. Kaleidoscope. Then many, after many. And then so there was this local case for the junior that we used to have. And then किसी ने उसको बोल दिया कि भास्कर सर तेरे बारे में कुछ ऐसे ऐसे कह रहे हैं. हो गया ऑफिस से मैं तो जा रहा हूँ अपनी पार्टी ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहा हूँ थर्ड ईयर दैट टाइम सेकंड ईयर तो फर्स्ट ईयर की थी तो किसी को पता नहीं उसके बारे में कि क्या बैकग्राउंड है क्या नहीं एक साल से आई बाद में पता लगा उसका भाई गुंडा है. ठीक है मेरे पास क्या होना है पैसे से कहीं लैपटॉप मैंने अपनी तैयारी करी मैंने अपने दोस्त को फोन किया जो डिप्लोमा में पढ़ता था तो मैंने कहा यार तेरे तो दोस्त होंगे ऐसे थोड़ा बता यार अभी जाना है पार्टी में फ्रेंड्स की पार्टी है क्लाइंट्स को समझ में नहीं आ रहा मेरे को वाटर लग रहा है कहता अपन चलते हैं देख लेंगे एंड देन फिर उसके बाद फिर उसने अपने दो तीन दोस्तों को फोन किया वो सब वहां पहुंचे और मैं वहां से डर के निकल गया मुझे लगा वो मेरे को पीटने के लिए आ गए एंड देन 10 मिनट बाद उसका फोन आया यार वो कह रहे तुमको देख के भाग गया मैं क्या भागना नहीं चाहिए था एंड देन इवेंचुअली आई केम देयर फिर उसके बाद वो लड़की भी आई उसको भी नहीं पता कि ऐसा कुछ हुआ है उसकी किसी ने उसके भाई को ऐसे बोल दिया था कि तेरी बहन को ऐसे हम दोनों सोच रहे हैं मैं कह ये दो ग्रुप्स क्यों खड़े हैं कुछ होना है अभी और दोनों साथ बैठ बात कर रहे हैं तो नोबडी उन्होंने माइंड नहीं किया हमारे ग्रुप में भी कुछ नहीं बोला ये तो कुछ और ही करना दैट वाज लाइक वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंसेस जब मेरे को लगा यार सच में कुछ होता है अब तो टीवी सीरीज देखते थे so that was like one of the stories then another one अभी तुम सब अभी कॉलेज में आई start drinking new kinds of milkshakes तो मेरी प्लेसमेंट बहुत लेट हुई थी normally if you look at the pattern जुलाई में सारी टीम कंप्लीट आती हैं then by October to throw into the sales time and the start the team is already taken away तो मेरे साथ क्या हो रहा था आई वाज वेरी चूजी व्हेन सिटिंग फॉर कंपनीज क्योंकि वी वर नॉट अलाउड टू सिट फॉर मोर देन वन इफ यू गेट सिलेक्टेड देयर आई वाज वेरी चूजी क्योंकि मेरे फादर का बिजनेस भी है सो आई हैड लाइक मल्टीपल ऑप्शंस कि पता नहीं क्या करना है क्योंकि आई वाज इन नॉन टेक मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम सो अब अक्टूबर आ गया था और मैं किसी की पार्टी में नहीं जा रहा था क्यों मेरी की शर्म आती है एंड देन एवरीवन उन्होंने लोगों ने पूछना भी शुरू किया कि कोई भी करना है अपने हिसाब से जिस दिन मेरी प्लेसमेंट है लकीली आई वाज ऑन लास्ट में सब लकी इनफ टू गेट इनटू अमेज़न बहुत तैयारी करी है वो हो गई अब मैं सबको पार्टी देनी मुझे ठीक है मैं किसी की पार्टी में गया भी नहीं देन वन ऑफ माय कजिन्स ही सेंट मी अ बिग क्रेट ऑफ मिल्क और लास्ट टाइम होता है तो वैसे मैं मारी खाली करनी होती है मैंने सारी मारी खाली करी कपड़े डाले उसके अंदर सूटकेस में कपड़ा बचाया हेड हेलमेट अंदर लाइट लगी बॉडी के अंदर छोटे छोटे देन आई प्ले ऑल द बॉटल्स ग्लासेस कोई आता रूम में यार मिल्कशेक नहीं पिलाया पार्टी में उनको लगा so that was like one of the best memories that I had to be able to experience that thing थोड़ा confidence भी आ गया था so yeah it's like for friends
Talking about kaleidoscope and societies, I'd like to know like how did the society actually impact your life? Did the non-tech societies in long run do they actually like help you?
It's a very good question. Actually, societies में भी ये होता है कि you get to see a lot of hierarchical politics and you get to see a lot of things happening in the societies which yeah, it's all good. Don't worry about it. So इसमें क्या होता है कि when you go out there and तुमने जैसे let's say तुमने पहले तो पिक किया कि मेरे को entrepreneurship में जाना है, CIC में जाना है, ये जाना है. तो पहली चीज तो यार मतलब पिक अ साइड मतलब एक एक दिस वन गाय who's in 10 societies तो वो एक से छोड़ के जा रहा है वो दूसरी में जा रहा है वो कोई पता नहीं उसका कहाँ पे है वो ठीक है तो there's always this game of zones happening with some people with the other ones I see who stick with one society who stick with the other they are continuously progressing in that society they take up leadership roles तो अगर So, for example, you have picked your interest and you have picked the best society for yourself, and you like to stick with it. So it will definitely help you later on because they and the seniors, if they are good, they will teach you the discipline कि भाई अगर 6 बजे इवेंट है तो 7 बजे से पहले पहले जो है, सॉरी 6 बजे से पहले पहले जो है ये ना, अगर अगर 6 बजे इवेंट है तो तुम्हें 6 बजे जो है पहुंचना ही पहुंचना है, उससे बल्कि रात 1 घंटा पहले पहुंचोगे, उधर जाके सारी चीजें get things organized. तो फर्स्ट ईयर में जो है सीनियर्स, they don't put a lot of pressure on you, they put a lot of pressure on the second year guys. क्योंकि उनको पता है कि second year has to transition into the third year and then eventually they have to take up leadership roles. तो फर्स्ट ईयर वाला क्या होता है, फर्स्ट ईयर में जाते हैं ये सुपरफिशियल व्यू किया, यहाँ पे तो बहुत फन है, सारे सीनियर्स जो है वो बड़े फन है, मिल्क शेक खिलाते हैं, ठीक है, so बढ़िया है, it's all good and all. Then second year you realize there are responsibilities. Some people run away from those responsibilities, some stay there. And by the time you are in the third year and when you're in the fourth year, when you're taking up those roles and when you're going out there, plan कर रहे हो, जैसे एक ये event organize हुआ, इन्होंने plan किया, इन्होंने invite किया, इन्होंने progressively gate से entry ली, ठीक है, तो उससे you get to learn a lot of things about generally about general discipline, about general competency, how to handle people, how to bring people from different ethnicities, different mindsets together. और and see and bottom line तो ये है कि nobody is getting paid for doing it, right? तो तुम्हारे खुद के इंटरेस्ट के लिए कर रहे हो, and yet so many people they get personally involved, उनको वो अपने इमोशंस को उसके अंदर डाल देते हैं कि यार ये तो इस सोसाइटी को बड़ा करना है, कुछ लोग सम पीपल शोड अप दे सेड कि हमें नई सोसाइटीज बनानी है, तो उस चीज से क्या एक माइंडसेट फ्रेम होता है एंड यू इवेंचुअली यू अंडरस्टैंड कि इन जनरल आफ्टर कॉलेज हाउ थिंग्स वुड लुक लाइक व्हेन यू आर डीलिंग विद डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ पीपल, when you have people on different hierarchies, how you have to deal with them. You have some people who are hard to crack, you have some people who are easy to talk to, easy to get to, and all of these things I think societies they have given the best experience over.
One thing I would like to share about societies is that when I was, like I mentioned earlier, I was very passionate about electronics. So we started off with this electronics club in 2005. A senior batch started, uh, but I got attached to it in the final year. Got quite a lot exposure. But one message I would like to give, it's not really a advantage or disadvantage, but one message I'd like to give for societies in general is because the way I look at societies is a big company. It inculcates that feeling of teamwork. That's why you are making a society. Otherwise, why would you make it? You can always work individually. Because if four of us or five of us make a team sports or team games, team sports or team activities are always different than individuals. And I want to link this point to many of the people who are working in companies. We have a concept of diversity hiring. So diversity hiring, when we started off with diversity hiring, I was under the impression that we have female workforce is less in the company, so increase the female count, and that's diversity hiring. But it's not just that. So diversity and inclusion, we have a concept of D&I. It's a very widely spread out concept in the industry these days, even in academics. D&I means diversity and inclusion. So what someone who is a let's say especially able person, you know, or maybe someone is a transgender person, someone is a tall guy, someone is an experienced guy, someone is a very senior alumni, someone is a 10 years experience, someone is a fresher. When all the different mindset people sit together, the product is always better than when two like-minded people discuss. This is what research has shown. My feedback or my suggestion to such societies is that have a culture of inclusion where you listen to the people with different perspectives. There's an alumni perspective, there's a faculty perspective. Fourth year student might have a different perspective than a first year student. Do you agree? So female may have a different perspective than a male. So have that diversity and inculcate a culture of inclusion, and the products or the results of those societies will be more meaningful.
So I would like to add one add point here that I am a core member of diversity and inclusion in Microsoft right now. So I'm speaker to it that whatever the sir said is completely right. Diversity and inclusion is not about only gender. It's about the different mindset and how you are listening to each mind and empowering them at the same time. Everyone in this audience among us should feel inclusive when we are sitting together. We should feel that our thoughts, our mind is at the table. They are able to inculcate what they are thinking. So it's all about that how individual is speaking, how individual is feeling. And when everyone will feel valued, the product would be definitely a success. And this is for not to the companies, it's for human value that everyone should inculcate in day-to-day life. So yeah, that.
So my take on society is a bit different. I would just share my story. So when I started first year, so how many of you are waiting for society fair? Wonderful. Great. Excellent. So when I belong to Chandigarh, so when I came here, so my first ambition for like my I like Knox. Knox के बारे में सुना है किसी ने? Yeah. Dance. Yeah. So dance society was one of my preference. So I got selected in Knox. So it was a privilege back then. I suppose now also it might be a privilege. So I joined the society. So I was like locking, popping, breakdance, yeah, hip hop. We're gonna do that. That's the first year. We're gonna enjoy it like PMO. So later on I realized it's all about breaking legs, not about breaking dance. So ज्वाइन कर लिया बट लेटर ऑन इट वाज कि यार एवरीडे प्रैक्टिस चल रही है और 2-2 घंटा 3-3 घंटा 4-4 घंटा चल रही है सीनियर्स आर देयर यू कैन नॉट रिफ्यूज द हायरार्की यू हैव टू बी प्रेजेंट देयर सो इट वाज लाइक वे टू मच एट अ पॉइंट ठीक है तो एक्सेस हो गया सेकंड पॉइंट सैटन एरिया में मार्केटिंग टीम में चले गए नए नए एम्बिशियस यस यस सीनियर्स ने बोला है मार्केटिंग करेंगे मार्केटिंग सीखेंगे नई चीज है क्या दिक्कत है तो गए एंड उसमें एक नया कॉन्सेप्ट था वी नीड टू ब्रिंग स्पॉन्सर्स फॉर द इवेंट. So when you have to bring the sponsorship, you go outside in Patiala. तो ग्रुप बना के 6-7 लड़कों का एंड आप एक एक दुकान पे जाते हो तो आप बोले हाँ जी थापर से आए जी तो कहते ठीक है दिख रहा है जी वो तो थापर से आए हो तो जुम्मन आ गए
Serious and they're like, we are not sponsoring and they're like, go
या
from the gate.
तो चलो उस टाइम पे सुन लेते थे तो हम बताओ क्या है so we're like ये ऐसे टेस्ट करा रहे हैं so we would like to uh, uh, get your sponsorship you can come there you can advertise about your product so you can तो कह रहे, ठीक है कर देंगे नहीं नहीं सर मतलब पैसे भी देने पड़ेंगे आपसे अच्छा ठीक है बट सम हाउ 10-15 दुकानें घूमने के बाद पूरी शाम बर्बाद करने के बाद एक बंदा क्लिक कर गया तो उसने बोला कि F2G करके एक रेस्टोरेंट हुआ करता था हमारे साइड में बड़ा फेमस तो वो बुफे जोन था लाइक 180 रुपीज में पूरा बुफे एंटायर क्लासी बुफे स्टार्टर स्नैक्स दारू नहीं थी बाकी सब ठीक है सो तो वो उस बंदे ने ही मेड अस अ पेमेंट तो वी केम बैक तो सीनियर्स वर वेटिंग फॉर अस एंड जो हमारा लीड था उस टाइम पे सेड कि भैया हो गया एंड भैया टुक हिम टू साइड पे यार वाह बंदे ने कर दिया देखो क्लैप फॉर हिम ये वो तो लेटर ऑन एवरीबॉडी रियलाइज यार कि ये इतनी भागदौड़ करी किसके लिए जस्ट फॉर 3 प्लेट ऑफ पकौड़ास इसमें तो बात नहीं बनी. So I would say societies are yes, they're definitely important. They introduce you to hierarchy. They introduce you to work culture. कि तो आपको work distribution कैसे होगा, how you have to work, क्या काम मिलेगा, कैसे boss को manage करना है, इस तरीके का culture they will inculcate in the very beginning. But you need to understand कि वो तुम्हारा इतना time consume ना कर लेंगे तुम अपने लिए इतना टाइम निकाल पाओ that you need to figure out very well. You need to be very clear what are your priorities, what you want to do. कि तुम्हारा टाइम इतना कंज्यूम तो नहीं हो रहा है कि तुम अपनी स्टडीज पे फोकस ना कर पा रहे हो या फिर यू आर नॉट एबल टू परस्यू योर हॉबीज कि जिसके लिए तुम यहाँ पे आए हो सो वो चीज आई वुड से कि पीपल शुड थिंक इन दैट पर्सपेक्टिव एंड उस वे में यू शुड मतलब इनिशियली एवरीबडी वांट्स टू गेट टू एज सोसाइटी एज पॉसिबल ये भी करेंगे वो भी करेंगे ये भी करेंगे यहाँ पे अच्छा लग रहा है वहाँ पे अच्छा लग रहा है बट ठीक है initially है try तो सब करो but I would say refine it with period of time don't just stick to every society की एक टाइम यहाँ एक टाइम वहाँ keep refining keep 1 or 2 societies but manage your time well that's all I would say. So I shared right my dad is also orthopedic 93 graduate so he said like one very beautiful thing which is still true he said these 4 years will set you up for the next 40 years
And I've been feeling it almost every single day. I'm sure it's true for you as well, everyone here as well. So हमारी लाइफ के बहुत सारे एस्पेक्ट्स होते हैं and you get to experience every single aspect being in Thapar. I won't say just university. The reason being because there are so many colleges, so many universities, but I know the culture there. I can very much say about Thapar that it sets you up for the next 40 years. बत्ती बनाते हैं ब्रेकअप होगा एक्सपीरियंस सोसाइटी में जाएंगे people will dupe you in some sense, right? All these are experiences. If you don't step out and experience, you won't get to know them, right? And ये सब आगे जाके 10x level पे हो जाएगा. So as he said, right, about the balance thing, एक वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस बहुत फेमस टर्म हम WLP बोलते हैं इजी करने के लिए. वो हमें बनाना पड़ता है. ये पता लगता है 10 साल बाद कि ये तो हमारी जिम्मेवारी थी, इसमें कंपनी क्या करेगी. And that starts with college itself. I had a very amazing work life balance working at Amazon. Go to the website Glassdoor, Amazon सर्च करना, इतनी खराब रेटिंग है 1.8 के आसपास. क्यों? क्योंकि वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस मेरा तो बहुत है. I'm a travel and wildlife photographer as well. I used to take 5-6 trips every year. क्यों? क्योंकि मैंने कॉलेज से सीख लिया how to manage that time thing, right? And you get that experience right in college itself. So for societies specifically, if I talk about, identify those hobbies which you could not pursue in the last 4 years. क्योंकि parents ने कहा था कि 9, 10, 11, 12 कर दो, जिंदगी sorted. तो sorted तुम्हें बनानी पड़ेगी. ठीक है, सोसाइटीज वो पिक करो जिसमें इंटरेस्ट हो. मेरा फोटोग्राफी में था, आई पिक फाइनल फोटोग्राफी सोसाइटी. मैं एक स्पीति के ट्रिप पे गया, एडवेंचर क्लब सोसाइटी थी, उसमें चला गया. वो 6 महीने बाद निकाल दिया, मुझे कुछ करता तो नहीं. मैं क्या, मैं तो गया था ट्रिप पे, एक फोटो लगा, मैं आ गया मैं यहाँ पे. डिडंट मेक सेंस, राइट? सो ये, सो दैट आल्सो ब्रिंग्स इन दैट सेल्फ अवेयरनेस. यार मुझे क्या, सेल्फिश होना और सेल्फ लव में फर्क समझो. एंड दिस सोसाइटी कल्चर इवेंट्स, दिस विल गिव यू अ चांस टू लव योरसेल्फ, क्योंकि यू विल बी डूइंग थिंग्स दैट यू लव. कॉलेज तो जबरदस्ती पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा, इसलिए उसके बाद जो आफ्टर 5 जो लाइफ शुरू होती है वो मिलेगी. सो टेक इट दैट. फोमो भी मत आना, सेल्फ लव में आना. मुझे क्या आपसे.
Talking about the personal personality thing, what are your views? How can college shape your personality for like around 40 years? Like according to me, these 4 years shape your personality for next 40 years. What are your views about that?
So the question was, how does the 4 years shape?
Our personality for next 40.
Well, 40 years तो अभी हुआ नहीं. So I don't know how things will shape up, but yes, only thing I want to say is like, so there was another short story behind this. And when I joined, when I started with my second year, and first year we used to have common subjects. I think it's still the same for all branches. And second year we used to go to your respective departments. And our head of the department that time told us that this engineering course is of 4 years. 4 years course. If you are doing electronics, the core courses of electronics can still be taught to you in, shrunk manner. Like they can finish off all the evening classes, everything, whatever, crash course ki tarah. They can finish this BTech in 2 years, technically. So why do you have a 4 year course? And I still remember the question he put up in front of the batch. Nobody, we were all clueless. ये क्या पूछ क्या रहे हैं? And the answer, the underlying answer was the question that you asked about personality. How do we talk? How do we behave? So hostel life has, like I was telling about diversity. So the perspective that you have in hostel, sharing a room with your roommate or your corridor or your mess food with your friend, it's an altogether different perspective than when you are sitting next to someone in a classroom. You see the point? So it's I would mainly call it like a way of life. The personality is a vital term, which is way of life, and those 4 years lay the foundation of how you behave and how you carry that brand with you. Okay, and while we are talking about personality, I wanted to give a small candid message. Okay, please don't mind if it is too harsh on any one of you. Being in the industry for the last 18 years, I have interviewed also multiple people who come from different colleges, and they say, I said, आपके college में ये, let's say I ask a technical question, कि was this taught to you in college? नहीं सर, हमारा तो ना college curriculum ऐसा ही है. You see, वहाँ तो teachers बेकार हैं, कुछ नहीं पढ़ाते. हमने तो बाहर से किया है. So all I'm saying is, we don't speak about that for our nation, right? It's a general practice. So now you made up a choice. That is debatable whether the choice is right or wrong. There's a difference to it. So all of you have entered Thapar. Okay. Now that can be a good or bad depending on if you wanted to be in IIT, you wanted to be in BITS, or you wanted to be in a US university, or you over got it what you deserve. What is past is past. Now what you have been here, forget about the past and carry that brand with you wherever you go, so that people reflect on what you carry from your last 4 years. You see my point? So I'm not saying that it is everything is perfect here. I mean, no college is perfect, no person is perfect, right? So there are, like you were saying, trust the system. Once you're in the system, trust the system. Either don't come in the system. Once you're inside the system, then trust it fully and carry that brand of your schools, your college, your future colleges, if you do masters or MBAs or MTechs, whatever, your companies. So if you work for a company, okay, I don't like this company, leave it. Okay, but if you are working there, you really enjoy working there, don't spread out a bad name about that organization or your alma mater with which you have been associated. Okay, I have seen cases like that. That's what I'm highlighting. So this is my advice, and that is a true reflection of your personality. And thankfully, I have seen Upper as an institute carrying one of the institute. It's not a joke to have a presence in the country for almost more than 70 years. It's almost 70 years now in India. So the roots of the institution are so deep rooted that it boasts of a very strong alumni network, excellent, notable alumni who have done wonders in life. Of course, there are ऊपर नीचे everywhere. So every college has its own imperfections. वो आपकी true reflection of personality है which you carry for the next 40 years. This would be my message. So
So these 4 years, this is not just a curriculum, this is an experience. So take this 4 years as an experience. This would gonna shape exactly coming all your years ahead. What I am today, I truly feel privileged that I was a part of Thapar. I'm a Thapar alum, and I think very proudly that I am a Thapar alum. So whatever the success that I got, whatever I be getting in the future, it started from here only. My first college placement, the way it shaped me, the way they taught me, all the teachers they here, the facilities that Thapar provided at that time, they were providing it fabulous technology. They were providing it above what other colleges were providing. Right now, this society is doing such a great thing that they are called for the fresher batch, the alumni, they connected with them. So these all efforts are speaking about what the Thapar is. This is the culture of Thapar. So they want to connect with each Thaparian. They want to create that network. They are very much caring about each and every individual Thaparian, that they want that everyone should get success in their life in every aspect. That's why they want to create that sort of environment. So the 4 years that you are getting right now, take full advantage of it. This is full of opportunities. You are not only getting the curriculum, the subjects that are being taught, you are getting the societies, you are getting. I was part of a creative computing society in Microsoft student chapter back at the time of the college. And I know how it shaped me. I was connecting at that time the uh, veterans of Microsoft at that time. They visited the college. We were given the option that we should conduct these kind of events at that time. We were conducting night hackathons, which shaped us today. Today, when we are leading in our industries, when we are having 4 or 5 juniors under us and we want to give some product and how they should work. We learned it here only. We went, and I say that we went through failures also. So Thapar, and another thing that when we enter Thapar, we all are toppers from our colleges, right? But when you enter college, you see everyone is topper, right? Then it comes a setback that, oh, I'm not the topper anymore. I need to start from zero again. And now I need to prove myself again. And this is a lesson that inculcates in college itself. You are coming out of your comfort zone. So these all small anecdotes and experiences would make what you will be coming in future. So that's all. This is an experience.
How many of you are from COE? Sorry, my question was wrong. I should say कोई COE का नहीं है क्या या कोई हो तो बताओ तो नहीं है. Nah. So ideally it's a good balance. It's not that even one sided. So yeah, yeah, like हमारे computer वाले basically they were talking about CSC, COE. Uh, So do you guys know that we have a 100 CR investment in NVIDIA lab coming up? Uh, that is how no college in the country has that sort of lab or facility available. You guys will be sitting in those mega labs with ultra cooling ACs, doing NVIDIA jobs, and people from NVIDIA will be coming to teach you. Can you understand the privilege of that thing? It's a very big one. Now, first of all, congratulations. You guys are part of Thapar now. Okay, you will be part of Thapar. Now consider yourself a bit unlucky also क्योंकि जो तुम्हारी class बन जाएगी ना, you'll have a certain class when you graduate from this college. वो class you'll never be able to match that class with any of the college. We all faced it. My colleagues faced it. My entire batch faced it. My seniors faced it. Till now, people face it. When you graduate, when you meet the people from other colleges, you'll be like, अरे यार ऐसा हो गया क्या? हमारे में तो ऐसा होता था. So we were always superior. We still are always superior in everything we do, whether it's conducting the fest or the academic curriculum or the infrastructure, everything. Like our hostel, like I went to M hostel. Our batch was the first batch to enter the M hostel. So it was designed by Irish people. So Ireland people came and they designed that hostel, right? So people used to say, यार ये hostel है. जब हम बाहर लोगों को दिखाते थे और उनके हॉस्टल हम देखते थे तो उनको फोटो भी दिखाते थे ये हमारा है ये तुम्हारा था तुम खुद ही देख लो यार ठीक है ना सो दैट रियली विल डेवलप यू मतलब जो 4 साल का जो प्रोसेसिंग है इट विल लिटरली convert you. It will happen. Trust me, it will happen. Whatever you are there today, you won't be there. You will be totally a new product when you move out after 4 years with a degree and placement. That's for sure. So I would say get leverage of that so that personality things will come automatically. Your curriculums are designed in such a way that you will be forced to change yourself. You will be forced to become a highly professional person and you will be working for the interviews, getting into the companies, the internships, a lot of technical stuff. And one suggestion, the Thapar has so many resources. अगर तुम utilize नहीं करते हो ना, it's your failure. Trust me. It's not campus failure. It's very easy for people to say कि यार placement नहीं लगी, पढ़ाया नहीं हमें, या कह लो कि यार companies नहीं आई. Yeah, blame game is the easiest now in these days. So it's your failure if you are not utilizing. Trust me, 4 years is a lot of time. You can do a lot in 4 years. So, for example, like research, like I had 3 international publications in my BTech period only, just because my professors were very cooperative. I just had to ask. I just had to ask. So things are there, resources are there. Don't be shy. Utilize it. Personality definitely will be grown. You will be a totally a great classy engineer when you graduate after 4 years. Thank you.
I'd like to open the discussion to the audience is, and pass the mic in the audience. Do anyone have any questions?
Greetings to the respected panel.
My question is to Ma'am Jyotika. Ma'am, as you mentioned that today the software technology is changing at a very fast pace. So, like today, any code in any language can be formulated by AI tools such as ChatGPT within seconds. So, ma'am, do you think that these programming skills such as learning C, C++, Java, Python, or any other languages, maybe 4 years down the lane, will be as relevant as they were 4 years back?
So it's a very good question, and actually this is a question in all our minds, right? Not in this audience, but around the world right now. So come across our minds also when we are working and when we are building these kinds of things. So no, AI is there. AI is there to help you out. So remember the times when there were no such kind of frameworks which were helping you out, even have that fancy languages. We were having basic C, C++, and people were getting in that oh, technology is coming, so the basic language would vanish out, right? What would happen to them? So I would say if you are becoming an engineer and if you are learning not any technology or language, but you're learning algorithms, data structures, basic coding. Basic coding means C, C++, or any language do you pick. AI would come, it could write any kind of, you could say program that you mentioned, but you need to even put that questions to the AI in a particular manner, right? You put a simple basic question, you will get a simple answer from AI. But if I ask you as a employee of Microsoft or something that you need to build a product that would be used by millions and billions of users around the world and it should be uh, scalable or dynamic in nature, you put that prompt to the AI. AI won't be able to give you the right answer. It won't be able to create it on that basis. You as an engineer only need to use that AI, take the help of it, integrate that into your, I would say, framework or IDE, and then build a top product on top of it. So that would always be there. So the way we are working would definitely change in coming years. The answer is that. But it would take away the learning that you're getting today. No, it won't take. You would be again one step ahead of AI because you are building it. So that's my answer.
Thank you.
To answer your question, I want to add just one part to what she said. Things like artificial intelligence, which were not existing, you know, 10, maybe 20 years back. How many of you are from mechanical background? Anyone? Okay. So mechanical people typically land up in companies, let's say a car manufacturer, Maruti or Honda, or let's say what are the mechanical Mahindra. It's a car manufacturer. You're making cars, you but they do use AI. So all I'm trying to say is that even though the skill sets that we all have, any civil engineering students here, so building houses, buildings, bridges, right? 25 years back, this was a pure civil engineering subject, correct? But in any company you see today, the convergence of the skill sets is happening, even though the branches are diversifying. So you have branches like aeronautical, biotech, AI. There are now specialized courses in AI. But at the end of the day, AI is just mathematics, right? It's nothing but running an algorithm. So if you don't know, like she said, if you ask AI engine to generate a Python code, I'm just taking an example. If you don't know Python, how would you check that the code is optimal? So your role will evolve with time, but it will not. The computer can never overpower you. So if you are doing a robotic surgery, you are a doctor, right? But if you don't know how to do a surgery, how will you supervise such a surgery, right? So all I'm trying to say is, so I was asking a question about mechanical engineers. So I work in the automotive company, ST Micro, which is doing automotive chips, microcontrollers. We are supplying our microcontrollers to BMWs, Mercedes, all the car companies, and they're hiring electronics and software people in bulk. Because if you are driving an autonomous car today, is this a mechanical engineering subject now? Of course it is, but it's not only mechanical, right? So if there are millions of lines of software code in it, which is doing your radar data processing, fetching data from the camera, doing all the AI stuff. So there are mathematics people involved, there are software people involved, there are hardware people involved, there are maybe chemical people involved who do the the fuel efficiency and all that. There are electrical engineers involved with this electric vehicle thing coming up. They were not there 25 years back. So if you are from electrical background, mechanical, civil, so you might be from different fields, but ultimately convergence to hona hai. And that the trend is evident through this interdisciplinary skills like AI. So AI and data science. So all these things that are now evolving, I call them as bridging the gaps between the traditional engineering branches. So those of you who had previous generation people who did engineering, यहाँ पे there were only three courses. In 1960s and 70s, there were only three courses in Thapar: electrical, mechanical, and civil. And it's a fact. But then electronics, what is electronics? It's a bridge between electrical and uh, essentially mechanical, right? So you have systems which are working at low voltages, and you started with electronics. Computers kya hai? So it's essentially a new development that happened. But do you think that the old school learning that we had in electrical engineering in 70s who did, uska job is still there, right? Because he needs to know how things work because he has the core knowledge. This is just a perspective I wanted to add. Thank you, sir. I want to add one point to this. Uh, there are tools, there are concepts, there's an approach, right? Data structures, algorithms, artificial intelligence, machine learning, hardware, all of these are different tools to solve a problem, right? So don't fix it on tools. Develop your approach to solve a problem. At the end, problem solving matters, right? AI can write code, लेकिन मुझे AI से लिखवाना है, ये मेरे problem solving का skill है. And the tool I'm using is that particular ChatGPT or any other API that we use, right? So focus on that. Pick any language, pick any framework, and try to solve a problem. And then research. क्या इसको better कैसे कर सकते हैं? How can I optimize it further? If you start studying about concepts like time and space optics, that's one of the concepts. And then we'll optimize that using different tools, right? So don't fix it on tools. Develop an approach to solve problems better, right? Because I'm building a startup right now. मुझे कुछ नहीं पता कि मैं क्या use करने वाला हूँ. मैं तो Java करके आया Amazon से. Right? But I'm using the latest frameworks available क्योंकि मुझे पता मुझे eventually solve क्या करना है. And then I'm backtracking from there कि यार क्या pick करूँ, क्या ना करूँ, क्या technology काम करेगी, क्या नहीं. क्यों? क्योंकि मेरा mindset था. और मैं बोलता हूँ Java में लिखेंगे सारा कुछ. That might work, but might not work. Maybe it's not optimized. Right? So think about that. Think about problem solving. How do we get there fast? In the very optimized manner as well. Right? So develop that skill. I call it a skill. It's an innate quality also at times, but it can be a acquired skill also. So जब data structures पढ़ोगे ना, don't take it as मेरे को trees आ गया, मेरे को graph आ गया. Take it as क्या हम problem solve कर पा रहे हैं. A graph, a tree, all the tools पढ़ोगे सारे. It's getting specific to Twitter and but it's for everyone. All these are tools. At the end, सबका basic एक ही है, सबका aim एक ही है, तो solve problem. So take it that way, दिमाग बहुत mentally free हो जाएगा. वरना चार लोगों को देखोगे तो बोला कि ये बढ़िया, ये बढ़िया, ये बढ़िया, कुछ नहीं करोगे, फिर मैं बैठा. So, make that habit to solve problem and lead to good. Good afternoon to the guest of honors. My question to the panelists that for someone who wants to go into the automotive industry, I would like to know the skills that are required to be the best in the field. And has it changed after the post-COVID the post-COVID era? And is it a really good idea to go for startups in automation? Startups in automation or automotive? In the automotive industry. Uh, See, I personally, per se, if you look at my career history, I presume this question is for me, but I am not from automotive background. Now, exactly the point I was telling to your question, he asked about AI. We got we got immersed into this field because of COVID. When COVID happened, there was a huge issues of supply chain in automotive, and microcontroller inventory was unbearably short. So cars getting delayed. So, like I said, I'm talking about I'm driving an autonomous car. It is literally a robot on wheels. Do you agree, everyone? It's a robot on wheels. So I do not. So to answer your question, I do not look at it like an automotive. Okay, of course it is an industry in per se, but the kind of skill sets which are required to make a car is still separate. But like you highlighted about problem solving, how do those people sit together and solve the problem is the key. Sure, if you talk about automotive as a field, look at the problems which are there in the automotive, maybe battery efficiency. So batteries for electric vehicles are huge, or fast charging. So if you are building a fast charger which can charge your car in 10 seconds, I'm just saying hypothetically, 5 years down the line, maybe that can happen. But I'm not an expert. So I work on only the semiconductor aspects of the microcontrollers which are going into the car. But the skill sets, whatever you study, my friends who are in civil engineering, they are building houses, but they are all connected by Google Home, Alexa, your smart appliances. So how can they build houses without the strong collaboration of electronics engineers or even mechanical people or whatever are the interdisciplinary skills that are required? Automotive, if you choose to be an industry where you want to make your career, look for the problems within that and try to solve the problem. And or if you don't have an entrepreneurial mindset, which is fine, look for companies which are working in similar domains and trying to. So we are trying to solve a problem of supply chain by designing efficient microcontrollers for body control and motor control applications in automotive. Let's say you have a power window. So we want to give cheaper and more efficient microcontrollers which can help the automotive industry. So if you have a problem identified that okay, battery life, battery efficiency, or maybe battery uses some chemicals, people from chemical can contribute, which can be a better chemical to be used in the batteries. So I look at it in that segment. So surely, if you not just automotive opportunities, I think someone mentioned earlier also, opportunities existing any field today. People still I want to share one fact here. People say कि final year में placements are a bit slumpy nowadays. So अभी recession period is coming. सुना है सबने recession? So you can go to the homepage of any of the semiconductor companies. Mostly any of the companies would have job openings open right now. Any of them. At some point in my last couple of years, Qualcomm, who is one of the biggest competitors, they have 400 openings for India. And when I speak to my peers and friends in Qualcomm, they said no even. It's a fact. So एक तरफ we are saying कि there is a recession, दूसरी तरफ we are saying कि लोग नहीं मिल रहे. So why that is happening? Why that is happening is because people have not identified the right problem to solve and we don't have the right skill set. So now we are doing semiconductors. I am a semiconductor expert. I'll give you an example. Working on automotive, but supply chain issues will remain there. Even if I have top 10 engineers working on semiconductors, trying to solve automotive problem, but वो semiconductor को package कैसे करना है, उसका heat sink कैसे design करना है. It's a practical problem to solve, right? And I don't have a good support of a mechanical person who is an expert of packaging. So वो problem तो unsolved ही रहेगी ना. Do you agree? So we as a team have to solve the problem, and that's how things will move ahead. Otherwise, मैं अपने silos में बना रहा हूँ माइक्रो कंट्रोलर बहुत अच्छे हैं, कुछ नहीं होगा. कार भी अकेली बनती रहेंगी, माइक्रो कंट्रोलर नहीं होगा तो भी कुछ नहीं होगा. So we go back to the 1970s, 80s era. जब car was just a mechanical box. That's not going to help. So any field is good. Of course, automotive is now booming. So I would say all the best if you wish to make a career. But identify a problem. Where do you want to solve? Irrespective of your field. I'm not saying which course are you studying here? Mechanical engineering. So mechanical, don't be restricted to that. कि मैं ठीक है, you have a forte in mechanical, you are a good mechanical engineer, but don't think that you alone will be able to solve all the problems in automotive. This is my message. Find a team, find a working company, or you start your own, whatever you want to do. Look at the problem at large, find the right set of people कि मुझे क्या चाहिए उसमें, then go ahead and solve the problem. Thank you.
Since we are running out of time, so we will be taking last two questions.
Hello. Good afternoon, respected Alumni Panel. So I wanted to ask, I have been here for almost a week and been to Frosh events and workshops, and I started to feel like there are so many freshers who are better than me and are already skilled at many things. So I started to feel like, how would I survive the competition like that? So I wanted to ask, have you ever felt that at some point of time, and how did you overcome that feeling and improve yourself?
Hi, what's your name?
Palak.
So I guess it's a very genuine feeling. So everybody faces that. So many of you also might be facing that, but we are not vocal about it, right? So it's very genuine, nothing to worry about. But only suggestion is like I'll just share you my like, story that I was a very average student. फर्स्ट ईयर तो मुझे पता नहीं था करना क्या है बेसिकली, राइट? तो सेकंड ईयर इवन मोर एवरेज, ठीक है? तो आई गॉट कमिटेड, सीजी ओडाउन चली गई, ठीक है? तो थर्ड ईयर में जाके आई स्टार्टेड कि भाई करियर में क्या है। सो इट्स ऑलवेज अबाउट योर गेम प्लान, इट्स ऑलवेज अबाउट इंडिविजुअल गेम प्लान। देखना इस यू विल फील कि यार ये तो ज्ञान की बात होगी, बट यू हैव टू फॉलो दैट कि यू नीड टू बेसिकली फोकस ऑन योरसेल्फ ओनली। भूल जाओ कि साथ में क्या है, दूर क्या है, आप ऑलरेडी इतना कंपटीशन पार करके आ चुके हो। दैट्स इट, इट्स डन। अदरवाइज दिस विल नेवर एंड, इट्स अ नेवर एंडिंग थिंग ना। जॉब में जाओगे, आईआईटीएंस मिलेंगे, उनसे कंपटीशन स्टार्ट होगा, ये इट्स नथिंग टू वरी अबाउट। सो यू हैव डन योर पार्ट, यू आर इन अ गुड कैंपस where you will develop, but it's important to talk to yourself ki what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and how you can work upon that. इधर उधर देखने का कोई जरूरत नहीं है। There will be always thousand people better than you. There will be thousand chemical engineers better than me at right now working in big companies. तो जिनके सामने में कुछ नहीं है, but I will be better than thousand chemical engineers also. So ये भी रहेगा, ठीक है? So it's always a balanced approach. So forget about what others are doing. So forget कोई MBA की preparation कर रहा है, कोई कह रहा है कि मैं ये कोर्स लगा रहा हूँ, मैं इस रिसर्च में हूँ। So there will be people who will try to give you depression कि मैं तो ये एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर भी कर रहा हूँ, तुमने किया क्या? तुमने देखा क्या? कुछ लोग तो बैग छुपा के ही चले जाते हैं बस, तो सामने वाले की कोई कहाँ जा रहा है भाई, कर क्या रहा है, आई ऑल्सो वांट टू नो दैट। सो ये चीजें रहेंगी, इट्स वेरी कॉमन कॉलेज लाइफ का पार्ट है, बट जस्ट फोकस ऑन योरसेल्फ, मेक योर प्लान्स, राइट इट डाउन, what's your positive, what's your negative, work on it, and how you can cut down your negative and improve yourself every day. That's what matters. That's what I would suggest.
Thank you, sir.
Again, it's about perspective. Now, like I said, diversity and inclusion, right? What's your name? Palak. So, what perspective Palak brings is different from what Pratik brings, what Jyotika brings, what anyone here in this audience brings. So, everyone has its own perspective, and that is exactly why we talked about diversity and inclusion. Remember? So, what perspective you bring into a bigger product will always be unique to you. Similarly, for all.
So I would like to add something here. Uh, See, I remember when I had a very similar feeling when I was here because I came from a good school. वहाँ पे क्या था कि छोटा बैच था तो 40 लोग होते थे क्लास में, तो then I was thinking कि यहाँ पे जब आया then you know exponentially चीजें बढ़ गई, 1000 लोग हैं, 2000 लोग हैं, तो वहाँ पे क्या 40 लोगों के बीच में compete कर रहे हो, यहाँ पे आप 1000 2000 लोगों के बीच में compete कर रहे हो। तो क्या होता है कि you initially feel that transition kicking in that नाउ पहले क्या है कि तुम्हारी क्लास में एक टैलेंटेड बंदा, अब तुम्हारी क्लास में जो है 100 टैलेंटेड बंदे हैं, उनके साथ सी आप एक्चुअली compete कर ही नहीं रहे हो। ये चीज जो है, दिस इज द थिंग, you are actually building your identity out here. Fortunately for all of you, as my co-panelists also mentioned that we have a lot of infrastructure, a lot of opportunities here in the campus itself. तो जैसे अगर कोई लेट्स से कोई फोटोग्राफी में कोई बहुत अच्छा है तो you are also good at photography. You guys are essentially you are collaborating with each other, you learning from each other. That's the first thing. And जो whatever you are putting out there and whatever they are putting out there, it's completely and totally unique. तो क्या है कि अभी ये जो एक्सपोजर है ये आपका दिस एक्सपोजर इज गोइंग टू बी 100 times more actually when you enter the real world. Like क्या है कि पहले एक bubble होता है that is classroom, then the next bubble is the college campus. Okay, and when you get out there in the real world, you know it's not just going to expand; it's going to expand by 100 million or so because you know you have a lot of people, a lot of industries, a lot of professions, X, Y, Z. The thing is when you build your own identity and you are comfortable with whatever you're doing and you're adding value to whatever you're doing, you'll feel you will not feel the pressure to compete with other people around you. You will feel that I myself I'm putting a benchmark out there in the industry and in my college itself. So ये इस चीज को फेस करने के बाद मैंने क्या किया, मैंने 10-15 सोसाइटीज के इंटरव्यूज दिए, तो उनमें से 3-4 ने सिलेक्ट कर लिया, कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया खुद ही। मैंने कहा हाँ यार ये तो बढ़िया, इट्स गुड, प्रॉब्ली आई हैव समथिंग यूनिक ऑफ माय ओन। देन फिर क्या हुआ, फिर और सोसाइटी वाले और बुलाने लग गए कि आ जाओ आ जाओ आ जाओ आ जाओ। तो क्या हुआ कि आई पुट माई सेल्फ आउट देयर एंड 90% ऑफ द टाइम्स क्या होता है ना, इसी इसी फियर में ना वी मिस आउट ऑन अ लॉट ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी। हम यार ये सोचते रह जाते हैं कि अभी मैं जाऊंगा यहाँ पे, आई आई फील you know neglected, they will acknowledge my existence, they will say that तुम्हें नहीं आता ये वो है, do it. But nobody cares in the bigger run. Like after you get out of here, everybody's going to meet each other, respect each other. They're going to say कि हाँ ये मेरा junior था, मेरा senior था. तो बढ़िया है ना, like if you're given these 4 years to define your 40 years ahead, you better go out there and put yourself out there and create your own identity, create what you like, and use the resources, exploit them. You have so many things here. You have so many professors. You have good peers. You have people coming in from great backgrounds. They have good family businesses as well. They have their parents. They are pursuing great jobs. So लोगों से बात करो, सीखो, because जो next इसके बाद जो level up होने वाला है तो that will be फिर वो बिल्कुल ही अनबेरेबल हो जाएगा। यहाँ पे आइडेंटिटी बनाओ आराम से, nobody is going to really question you. And secondly, you have to stand out. You have to stop caring कि तुम्हारे आसपास वाले क्या बोलेंगे। तो 2-4 बारी रिजेक्शन की आदत डालो। इट वाज इजी फॉर मी लाइक दैट व्हेन आई got rejected 5-6 times. It was easy for me to go out there and put myself a seventh time. And then I realized I'm unique and I'm not really competing with people. I'm collaborating with different people and learning from their perspective.
I would like to thank the audience and the panel for such an amazing and informative session.
We conclude this year's alumni panel and we extend our heartfelt gratitude to the alumni for taking out their invaluable time and gracing us with their presence today. I would like to thank the audience for questions and interaction as well. All in all, thank you for making this gathering memorable and for continuing to support our shared vision. Now, we will be showing a QR on the screen. You can scan it to get to know further updates about our society, about recruitments, and future events.
Just a round of applause for the team for making such a wonderful event.
If there are any issues that anyone is facing, there will be SLT members around you to help you out. You can ask for help from them. Again, thank you to everyone who was here today.